Back live tonight on In Focus. Joburg Council Speaker has ordered an external legal opinion into findings of the city's group forensic and investigating services. The findings reveal that former and current councillors were involved in grand corruption, fraud and jobs for pals scandals. Speaker Colleen Makhubele has since diverted powers of the fraud and corruption unit to the municipal manager, Floyd Brink. She also seeks to investigate former executive mayor Dr Mpho Phalatse and former council speaker Vasco da Gama. For more on this, we are now joined by the former council speaker himself, Vasco da Gama. Good to have you, and thank you very much for coming on. The claim is that the city used this forensic services as opposed to deal with political detractors, and it sanctioned unconstitutional kind of investigations into people. What do you know about this unit and what it did?
Good evening, Thabo, and good evening to your listeners. Thabo, this is basically a witch hunt, number one. If you look at the report itself, the report was actually written by one person, which I cannot name here, but makes all kind of spurious allegations about Mpho Phalatse, Councillor Leah Knott, and myself. And obviously this would be implicating the previous DA mayor, which was Herman Mashaba at the time, that this unit was constituted illegally, and obviously, according to the report, given wrong instructions, which is completely disputed. Remember, when this was brought about was just after 2016. I think in 2017, the mayor decided that we need a unit to look at all the wrongdoings within the city. And as you would remember, the billing department was in a complete mess. Money was being diverted from the city's funds into personal accounts and a whole lot of other things, including a whole lot of corruption around the entities throughout the city of Johannesburg. And therefore, this unit was established, but obviously it first became, it was part of the risk department within the city. And then after that, at some point, this issue was brought to council, and council approved the current unit that is still in existence, but obviously after having taken the decision last week with the ANC and their majority nullified this and asked for an investigation.
So they are saying let's close the unit, or at least the findings of this unit are also purported to be unconstitutional, and let's shut them down, and no one must be prosecuted because of the findings of this. But let's investigate those who established this thing and were using it.
It's completely false. Here, the city manager, the current city manager, which is for Floyd Brink, as you remember, he was elected as the coup, I think around 2017. And obviously he served in the city manager's office at the time for a couple of years. If this unit was established irregular and illegally, basically between himself and the then city manager approved this report. Obviously it had legal scrutiny. The instructions delegated by the city manager then would have been thoroughly gone through a legal department and obviously at the time. Why all of a sudden, when Mr. Brink was investigated by GFIS itself, including Sabia, and after he lost the court case against Sabia, why now all of a sudden this is coming up. This is basically to cover up those officials within the city that I believe are guilty. And obviously the ANC and its partners wants to bring these people back.
But then one would ask then, Mr. da Gama, why wouldn't you then support this probe by the Speaker? Because it, in a sense, exonerates you. I mean, if for example, this matter goes to court, it could possibly backfire on Mr. Brink and others.
Correct. We are still looking at a legal avenue, and obviously to see whether we can, but obviously that all depends on the legal advice that we will receive at the end of the day as to what to do and how to go about it. Because I really believe that this whole report is frivolous, and the ANC wants to continue with its corruption.
Yeah. So one of the things, of course, which was canvassed quite a lot was the fact that as soon as this unit was established, the city acquired spying equipment that was not approved, or at least from what they are saying was illegal to use on other councillors. How true is that?
That's not true. I mean, this issue was in court and Brink lost on that. Not only that, you remember that the previous mayor before this current mayor, Ahmad, also went to court, and they lost that court case in court. Nobody could prove it. I mean, there was an investigation, if you remember, by the public protector and other departments. There is no truth in it. The ANC was just trying to spin whatever they were trying to do, and also to try and get the DA and its partners out of the city of Johannesburg. They've achieved that. But now to personally go after people without any evidence is really strange to me. They speak about the Speaker having allowed investigations on councillors to continue. There is no investigation on a councillor that they can prove was not sanctioned by the Speaker. Those that I obviously did not approve would have gone straight to GFIS. Remember that the public can complain to GFIS. And GFIS would then conduct its investigation, ensure that they copy in the Speaker, including the person that they are complaining against. Yeah. And then only councillors can be investigated. But there is a process. And that process is stipulated both in the Structures Act and the Municipal Systems Act, including our own council rules. There is quite straightforward stipulations as to how you go about doing an investigation. And remember that I would not do anything without the necessary legal advice from legalese within the Speaker's office.
Yeah. So one of the things that you're also being accused of trying to conceal is the process that you followed in appointing the secretary in council. They're saying processes were not properly unfolded there as far as that, and you're trying to conceal that particular corruption.
No, there was no corruption. And there was no concealment of any appointments done through my office. I welcome the investigation, and there is absolutely nothing that can be proven.
And at this particular point, why do you think these parties, particularly the current Speaker, is raising this issue?
I cannot tell you what the reasons are for it. She's got legal advisors that can advise her on the current process and whether, in fact, the report drawn up by this individual is, in fact, to point. There is no thing that I've read in the document itself, and I don't know whether you've got a copy of it, that actually points fingers at me personally, although the accusation is made around approval of investigations on councillors.
Yeah. So you were not in any way informed by the Speaker that you yourself at your personal level would be investigated?
Look, if you go through our rules, she is compelled, or the complainant, and I don't know in this case who is the complainant, or the complainant, to inform the person that is accused, if that person is a councillor. In other words, when you write a complaint about a person, you have to copy in that person so that that person knows that they are under investigation and obviously can defend themselves.
Yeah.
She has not done that. I hear these things through the news, and obviously I've not followed up on her news articles or publications. All I know is and that I have in front of me is a report that served in council and obviously was approved by the ANC and their coalition partners.
All right, Mr. da Gama, we appreciate your time. Thank you very much for coming on and bringing that.
Thank you very much, Tabo.
That is the former Joburg Council Speaker there, Vasco da Gama.